Yeah, I'll always be a metalhead. Nothing can take that away from me.
Right.
I mean, not jail, not people, not religion, not anything. I'll always be a metalhead. Metalhead leaves you all alive.
You're listening to the Great Metal Debate Podcast.
Welcome back, Metalheads, to the Great Metal Debate Podcast. It's Xander, back with another album review. Today, we will be looking at their latest release from the French death metal band Scolopendra, with their third album, Citadel of Torment, which was dropped on May 1st through Dooweet Agency. Just to reiterate, this is the French death metal band, not to be confused with the Italian death metal band of the same name. In case you didn't know this little fun fact, Scolopendra is a scientific label for the centipede insect family. Some of you might go to the metal archives and point out that Citadel of Torment is actually an EP rather than a full-length album. Well, here's a quote from the Bandcamp page. Citadel of Torment is about psychic suffering and a futuristic dystopian universe in which there is no hope. The frontman Thomas made this entire album after the band split in early 2023. The band starts with a new lineup in 2024. To add in my 2 cents, an LP album is defined as a collection of songs that exceeds 30 minutes. Let me use 3 different quick examples of other albums to prove my point. Job for a Cowboy's infamous Doom EP is widely considered an album by both the band and their fans, and has the length of a full-length record. One of George Corpsegrinder Fisher's many side project bands, Serpentine Dominion, has a self-titled album with 9 tracks on it, but the whole thing clocks in just under 27 minutes. Last year, Awada put out a 5-track album that exceeds 45 minutes. Sure, I could also talk about last year's Oak Disintegrate album, which featured just one song that was 44 minutes long, and every grindcore record in existence, but I think you all get the idea. Distinguishing forms of media can be a little tricky. Citadel of Torment opens with the song Panic Epidemic, which is a solid death metal song that has a little something extra that initially caught my attention: the use of sound effects. Within the first 30 seconds, we hear industrial-like noises that sound like rapid clicking, as if someone is turning the cogs in the machine. There's also the dissonant sound of a hammer hitting an anvil, as if we are in some sort of steel fabricating foundry. These sounds continue throughout the remainder of the guitar chug-fest in the next song, Narrow Dissection. Narrow Dissection has almost gent-style rhythm to both the guitars and drums, while the bass and vocals work nicely to fit right into the groovy beat. A lot of bands have had songs in the past titled Event Horizon, which is named after the 1997 science fiction horror flick. Scolopendra have taken their musical prowess to new heights by sticking to the simplistic head-bobbing riffs provided by Maxim and Yves Pins. A skilled drummer like Leo Goddard has impressed me with using every drum on his kit instead of being another one-trick pony like most other death metal drummers who only do blast beats. Leo knows how to be both fast but precise with his patterns. An ominous choir-like backtrack haunts the intro for the following track, Foreign Soul. It definitely gives off those eerie vibes before going into the electronic-infused whiny guitar sounds. Leo, of course, pounding away at the drums and abusing the multitude of cymbals with the short machine gun-esque burst of occasional gravity blast beats. The cymbals are, of course, the perfect way to ease into Mental Torture Part 2, which is a sequel song to Mental Torture from the 2016 debut, Cycles. I love the way the song concludes during its last minute with those sounds. I don't know what word to use to describe it, so I'm sorry you had to hear my irritated mouth noises. Finally, we come to the album closer, Black Fortress, which almost kind of has that death and roll sound to the main riff. It'll make listeners go into a slow nodding before the instruments collectively pick up speed for that thrash metal type of fast guitar chugging. This 7-minute long song fluctuates in pace from slow to fast, so it'll keep you on your toes, and it's like the band has saved the best for last, because this is one of my favorite songs of 2024 so far. It's a bone-crushing tank of a death metal track. Over the past 2 weeks that I have been cranking this album up in my car, I have come to thoroughly enjoy this short album front to back. It's highly enjoyable, although I will say the riffs are simple. It's not what I would consider to be a masterpiece, but it's still great nonetheless. I encourage everyone to check this one out, and I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 10 rating. As I mentioned earlier, you can support these guys by purchasing their music and merch through their Bandcamp page, and you can stream their music on all music streaming platforms.